As the weather cools and attendance rises, the facility will remain open until 8 p.m. on weekdays. However, Bozic promises rigorous cleaning procedures throughout business hours. Breaks and cracks like these plague the entire Alexander track. During the season, standing water, mud, and even ice make their homes here. But what followed was an animated discussion among community members. Concerned parents and staff had petitioned for a less restrictive policy. No other social media platform provides such an abundance of personalized election information quite like Snapchat. But meanwhile, Facebook and Instagram account for more than 2.5 million registrations. The American Academy of Pediatrics wants everyone over the age of 2 to be masked up this upcoming school year. The professional association recommends in-person classes, but with a universal masking policy. It started Saturday morning when the men's basketball team announced they'd be postponing their next 3 games due to COVID-19 protocols. Later that evening, the women's team traveled to Bowling Green, where they'd suffer a 69-53 loss. It's their lowest scoring game of the season. A dog in Ohio returned home yesterday after being trapped between 2 concrete walls for 5 days. A Cincinnati homeowner called the Cincinnati Fire Department after hearing the dog's cries, and firefighters found Gertie between the walls in their garage. Board President Blake Regan says the program's future depends on both its success and available funding. And this is just one of many improved summer education projects across Athens County. In fact, nationwide, education is moving back to normal. The Biden administration plans to have all students attend school in person this fall. For 14 years, Alexander student athletes have been running on the same track. But this coat of rubber is showing its age and has been for years. Athletes and parents spoke out at Wednesday's school board meeting, saying it's time for an upgrade.
Our track is undeniably unsafe for athletes to properly practice on, causing athletes to not be at their full potential when it comes to the day of the meet.
Breaks and cracks like these plague the entire Alexander track. During the season, standing water, mud, and even ice make their homes here. So what are students doing to train? According to head coach Nathan Schaller, there is no other option.
I had regional qualifiers this year for sprinters and distance, all of which had injuries. It's hard on the sprinters, it's hard on the distance kids. Our field events, we can barely practice, really.
Ahead of major meets, this team actually keeps their athletes off the track. Cracks and holes in the track were patched in 2012, but to no avail. In the years since, no teams have competed at Alexander. So how did things get this bad? A recent land survey revealed a major issue below the surface. The track was built on a slope.
From the start of the 110 to the finish line is 11.5 inches that you're running uphill. We have to go all the way down to below the base and start again.
With 2 lanes out of commission on a track already too small for Ohio athletic regulations, Alexander has become the only school in the Tri-Valley Conference unable to host meets.
It's not a want, it's a need. And we've needed it for a while and we've kind of made do, but now we're to the point where we're past the make do and we got to get something figured out.
Norris says if action is not taken soon, the future of Alexander's track program is at stake.
Well, if you don't have a place to practice, if you don't have a place to do things safely, what are you going to be able to put on for these kids just to go show up to run track meets? That's not an option.
A committee of parents and coaches is working to present the board with different options for an updated track, along with cost estimates. But that's the biggest hurdle to be cleared: funding. Instead of a levy, the committee is looking into fundraising and cost-cutting opportunities.
It's going to ruffle feathers no matter how we do. We're talking about spending money for athletics, which is always a tough thing, but we're going to try to get donors. Donations to cover some. There's no way we'd be able to cover it all by any means.
For the athletic boosters, this is more than an investment in a single program.
At this point, we're really looking for community input. We want that discussion to happen. We want to hear what they have to say. You know, is it just this site? What other improvements can we make? How else can it impact other students and other programs? That's what we're looking for right now.
For Newswatch, Dylan Theisen in Albany. It was week 6 of the 2019 high school football season. For many teams, just another Friday night under the lights. But for the Federal Hawking Lancers, it would mark a significant turning point. A string of injuries reduced their roster to so few players that the Lancers had to forfeit the rest of that season's games.
I felt like it wasn't fair to everybody, the coaches, the staff, the people that are supporters.
It was just the latest in a series of hardships. For the 5 years prior, the Lancers had won only 1 game, long haunted by a 40-game losing streak. And in 2020, Federal Hawking left the Tri-Valley Football Conference in favor of smaller school matchups. Despite picking up 2 wins, the team only played a mere 5-game season, once again forfeiting their final weeks. Still, hope remained among the Fedhawk faithful.
At the end of the day, I just feel like as a family, as a unit, we still had the most heart out of any teams.
The future of the program was in question. Incoming students just weren't joining the team. It looked like Fedhawk would have to join the smattering of Ohio schools that are moving to 8-man football. That's when they hired Coach Brad Woodson. Woodson has coached Ohio football for decades, serving as an early mentor for NFL stars Le'Veon Bell and Dwayne Smoot. He believes this team has the talent, the resources, and the heart to succeed. But what they've been missing?
To me, I see value, I see relationship building, which in turn is going to bring people out. That's all it is. Not running them to death, not saying you're not any good, positive things. That's what it's all about. You know, this right here, this is positive. They're saying, oh, coaches hang out jerseys? Not folded in a tote?
With the help of Coach Woodson, the Lancers were able to press on with a traditional 11-man season. For now, his focus is on completing the 2021 year, but he hasn't forgotten about paving the road ahead.
I had them for 4 years, and every year, I'm teaching them a little bit more about the field. What's going to be like when they're sophomores and juniors? That's how you build a program. Some think, oh, I need a quarterback, I need a running back. No, you have everything you need right around you, if you know how to build it.
Nearly a third of Vinton County residents are living without reliable access to clean water, whether to drink, to cook, or even to bathe.
And the ones that do have water, it's like dirt. It's like a muddy water.
It's not a new problem either.
The quest for clean water for Vinton County has been with my family for 21 years, and that was the first time that we moved here.
Federal funding has allowed Vinton County to place multiple water dispensaries throughout the county.
We make sure that every person that wants it has access to drinkable, safe, reliable water.
They're cheap, easy to access, and placed strategically near areas without clean water.
Folks in their own pickup trucks, or they have a trailer and they have a tank on the back.
Area resident Thomas Acasio began a water delivery business last year, and it's grown incredibly quickly.
Within a few days of opening the company, my phone was ringing off the hook, and it's turned into a beast. I can't keep up with the demand. I went from 1 truck to 3 trucks within a year, and we're still 2 to 3 weeks out if someone calls today.
The tanks are a step in the right direction, but not a permanent solution.
I hope that we can shut it down eventually, okay? That is my goal.
Featheroff hopes that someday clean water lines will run to every home in Vinton County. It's going to cost millions of dollars, but she wants residents to know that they are determined to put up a fight.
We want to make them aware that we're still working on this. We haven't given up. We're working on your behalf.
For Newswatch, Dylan Theisen in MacArthur.